This video is an edited recording from my live stream sessions on twitch.tv. If you enjoy my gameplay, visit my account there and follow it to be notified when I'm streaming live. Join us, have a laugh in the chat and enjoy the game with everybody else around. What is next? Do you think I can jump from there? Let's pray it's possible, otherwise there will be way too many mobs to kill. Woohoo! I made it! Now the harder parts stay alive. Ooh. No, lose combat, lose combat. Come on. That's a pro jumper. Or a pro platformer. Even better because I'm generally a bad one.
Master.
Oh, seriously? 15 seconds? I enjoy Tatooine as well. The texture of the sound is very flat, but it's made also very alive. It's flat, but it feels alive. And the sound that's produced behind your speeder is very natural. Makes you feel immersed. What happened? What did you do, Hig?
Let's go. Enough.
Really? I'm gonna use both of my cooldowns for you guys. Oh, I didn't have to, I guess. Nope. As a small child, I owned Atari 1000, or I showed it yesterday during my last stream. I don't think you were around. It's a very old console with those classic games, 8-bit games. I've never owned a modern console and I don't see a reason to. Every last money I have available to spare for a hardware upgrade goes to my PC and streaming setup. Tatooine, that's one of the things I enjoy about Tatooine. It's a very big planet. Of course, if you separate it in two halves for Imperials and Republics, it's not so big. But just staring right there into the landscape and you see absolutely nothing but desert, it's just lovely. Of course, if I keep going north, I will hit the invisible wall, or the, what's it called? X something zone. Basically the place where I get the dot and I start slowly dying.
Let's go.
But it's a very well designed planet. That was my main point. So is hot. The landscapes on hot are just pure awesomeness. Wait, I went through that point and didn't do the quest? Oh.
Done.
Exhaustion, thank you. That's what I was thinking of. Because you feel exhausted. Oh wait, that dot is right here on top of this thing. Please be polite and die quick. Thank you very much, Jonas and Champion. It's not flashing, but I can still use it. Yes, it worked. What? Oh, that's the bonus quest, really? Okay. Let's kill a few more for the bonus quest then.
Feel my force.
Me? What do you mean never? You've been here all day. It's probably the issue with the time zones.
Lightsaber.
I get to speak to a lot more of my US, Australian, and all kinds of viewers and followers from the corners of the world during the weekends, because that's why I tend to play in more weird hours. Usually during the week my streams are for about 3 to 4 hours whenever they happen. And the evening for me is pretty much the midday or early afternoon for the North America. Most people are at school, working, generally busy. But during the weekends we get to meet each other. Now let's see, I can do that from here.
Anything.
Oh. You didn't use that right. How can it be wrong? No, I'm not Central, I'm +2. That's Eastern European, if you mean my accent. My accent is very typical for the bigger portion of Eastern Europe. Did I do that one? Yes. Area quest, what the hell? 1:21 p.m. Ooh. Place the sensor, let's go do that so I don't have to come back again later. Generally, I'm not ashamed to admit I'm from Eastern Europe and Bulgaria more specifically, but generally to the Western world, when most people hear Eastern Europe, they think of piracy, criminal events, generally poor citizens or a poor life. I don't know how better to describe it. I'm back online. Thank you for coming back to enjoy the game with me. Yes, my internet was fixed on itself immediately after I stopped attempting. It is to be expected.
Lightsaber jerk.
Well, the reason you enjoy my accent is the reason you keep watching my videos and streams. There are some people who, for unknown to me reason, obviously, cannot tolerate foreign languages and weird accents. I guess those people just don't stop by my stream. What else? One more mob to kill and 2 more other mobs to kill for the other quest. Let's try this group.
My force.
Is it done? Destroy Geonosian weapon caches. Okay, let's do the second part of this quest.
Glad to be back.
Absolutely. Even though I personally consider Bulgaria to be struggling a lot, especially since 2009 and 2010, we are still not really fully recovered from the world crisis, and our economy is suffering. But still, I consider the country to be struggling, but it's actually a lot better than many others in the region.
Let's go.
And also a lot better than many others in Asia, for example, or Africa. My God, what things are happening to Africa, or at least what we see on the TV. 2 more. Are you going to aggro? Damn you. Just stay there on your spot. You didn't really have to aggro me.
Lightsaber jerk.
I can see it. Don't lie to me. Uh-huh.
Feel my force.
I hate that. And now these two guys will also argue. One thing never comes alone. One bad thing never comes alone. I got stuck. I aggroed the next group, consisting of 2 silvers. And Kira doesn't want to kill that one. Come on, Kira. Be nice.
Lightsaber jerk.
Of course it is, yes. I think if you ask the citizens of every city in every country, they will tell you that their politicians are crap and they should be replaced immediately with decent people. But I also believe that ours are a special case. I mean, ours are worse than you can possibly imagine.
Get me to a med center.
Lore object? Hey, dude, I killed the mobs and you just took my chest, really? Thank you. Oh, wait. I'm finished with that. I don't need to whine.
Glad to be back.
Is it on the first floor? Let's see if there is something downstairs. Oh, Japan is, absolutely. There is no point to even attempt to argue about that. What am I doing here now? Defeat and search the commander something. And I don't know where it spawns. Is it downstairs or upstairs? It looks like it should be upstairs. Let's go see. There is no corpse. Someone killed it recently. It's really annoying when I cannot see where that thing is. Oh, maybe here. Oh, yes. That's the one.
Ready for anything.
Hello, big boss. You are actually behind an instance. That's the quest done. Yes, it's funny that I received the chat after I've already found it. Unfortunately, you cannot beat the stream delay. I have to go over to Hitbox and YouTube and see if their delay has already been fixed. I tried watching Hitbox for a little while when it was brand new, still in beta. I'm not sure if Hitbox is out of beta already. But it was horrible back then, almost unwatchable. Stuttering, buffering, delays. YouTube's was very good video quality, very clear sound, just like it should be. And they threw me off the streaming with about a minute delay, or maybe even longer. Oh,
Glad to be back.
let's talk to someone.
I placed the scanners. Do you have a fix on the shock drum?
Collating the scanner readings now. Ah, no wonder the sensors couldn't find it. It's beneath an
Hey, don't be
abandoned
so
mining
pessimistic.
complex. I'm
Come on
sending
now.
the coordinates and the shock drum's deactivation code. Everything depends on you now, but we'll be here if you need us.
Unless you're planning to invade that mining complex, you aren't much use to me.
Britt completed repairs to his droids. We'll try to have them meet you there. Hope to see you again. Heron out.
Greetings, Jedi.
Oh, hey, Pravin.
I'm Lord Praven. My master seeks retribution for his son's death. I must give it to him.
Get in line, Sith. I have
Okay,
a
he's
planet to
Praven,
save.
not
If you
Pravin.
wish to stop this world's destruction,
My bad.
you must face me. When my master learned you were here, he demanded I activate the shock drum. He'll destroy this entire world. I know you've located the weapon, but that won't be enough. I changed
The Japanese
deactivation code.
have very weird
Not let me find
television
out the
games
hard way.
and shows.
What are you after,
And
Lord
by
Praven?
very weird, I mean just
My master
insanely,
deserves
incredibly
justice, but there are more
unnatural.
noble ways to have it.
fun at the
I
same
will
time in
destroy
some
you
cases.
personally.
I've stumbled upon a few different
Face
intros and trailers and
If I win,
parts of
I've
TV
done my
game
duty.
shows from
If you
Japan
win,
on YouTube.
you'll
It's
have the new
very
code. Whatever
different.
the outcome, we will battle with honor. I await you. at
It looks to me
these
like they have the modern
coordinates.
Japanese people have a lot less shame than the average European. Oh, 26, time to switch. Shall we? Immediately. Welcome to the overpowered level. We pick this one and this one. I think, yeah. They sound like they will give me a lot, the best benefits, not a lot. Skills, you're here. I won't be using you anymore. This one goes here, and that's pretty much it. Thank you. Let's see how overpowered I have just become, simply because of the Blade Rush upgrade. It's not really, really an upgrade. Oh, I'm sure they don't. Plus, compared to the general population of Japan, it's like, what, 0.5%? The people who take part and act in these TV shows and games. It is just funny that they have such things on TV that would be almost unthinkable or impossible in Europe and probably in North America. I have a feeling I forgot something, but not. I think I switched. Yeah, I switched everything. Vigorously. Japan? Oh no. I don't think so. I think it's exactly the opposite. Or if you're talking about the entire world as global, maybe. Probably yes. They have a very good and strict policy about what they're airing on TV. And you've mentioned UK and US, and it's even worse over here in Eastern Europe. We have absolutely no problem showing the worst parts of people's lives. That's why in some other people's eyes, especially tourists and visitors, it may seem actually worse than what it is. Simply because TVs, movies and games and shows and everything is actually... I'm missing the proper word. Bending the picture, that's what I needed. Quickly used my dictionary. So what I meant to say is that TV here in Bulgaria and generally in the Eastern European region, TV is bending the reality. Not on purpose, I suppose. They're just looking for sensation and for good news, entertaining news, something to show up and make money of it. What was the way to get there? I remember it wasn't very easy. From here, probably. It better be from here, otherwise it will be a waste of time. Oh look, I've lost my rested XP. This is unfortunate. Very. No, not here. That's not the way I wanted to go. Do you mean South Korea or North Korea? Because the stuff happening and all the talk about North Korea for the past year has been just going throughout out of any possible border. It's getting up to a ridiculous level. Wow. That's the next camp, of course it is, I forgot, and that's actually the entrance to the Dune Sea, where my journey ends. Mail, something fun? Nope. The Twin Suns. There is a guild on our server called the Twin Suns. If this mail did not give me money, I might have thought that someone from the guild is actually sending me a mail. Hey Doc, I hope your guests were entertained. Welcome back. You've missed my unfortunate disconnect and my issues with my internet today. When I was leveling my first character right here on Tatooine, I knew that was day 2, day 4, whatever, the first week of the game. I was informed that there is a PvP, dedicated PvP area somewhere on Tatooine. And for one reason or another, I actually understood like the PvP area is the Dune Sea. It is, because actually we have quests for both factions, but it's not a dedicated PvP area. People were actually talking and referring to the Outlaws Den, which is almost very nicely hidden and unreachable. And because I had no clue that the Outlaws Den exist as a 3.0 PvP area, I spent almost a full day roaming around the Dune Sea hoping to find PvP flagged players to have some fun. Because back in those days, I was still a huge fan of open world PvP, and I used to believe that it will be fun and it will exist in this game.
Are you saying?
Yeah.
I'll.
And after they ruined Ilum, and actually closed Ilum, I went on Outlaws Den and spent there days and days just logging on, logging off, roaming around the instances, hoping for some open world PvP. Nothing of such kind happened ever. Why do I need a speeder? Where is the speeder taking me? Friends wanting free beer. The best reason to visit your friend on an early Saturday afternoon. Get some free beer and maybe some free burgers.
Welcome. Please select an available travel route.
Timely arrival. Which one is this quest? Speak to...
Have a
Okay,
safe and
maybe later.
pleasant stay.
Work hard to get there on accident. Yes, indeed. Oh, I'm sure the activity on the PvP servers was a lot better back then and probably now. But me and my guild decided to go on the PvE server because we were trying to focus more on PvE endgame. Let's go and find the place. There will be a quest for it at level 40, I believe, or 45, not really sure. Ilum used to be amongst my most favorite planets, yes indeed. Especially when I first landed on it, I knew it was supposed to be the PvP planet, and I was level 47 or 48 at this time, and I was actually stressed and, well, hyped up about landing on Ilum for the first time after finishing Corellia. I was wondering what's gonna happen now. I'm gonna try to do my quests, and world PvP will just stumble upon me, surprisingly. I think I have plenty of screenshots of me with my PvP set of gear. It wasn't real PvP back then, it was just PvP mods from the PvP vendor with normal stats. Oh, screw it, I'm going down, and I hope I won't die. Let's make an experiment. That was nice. Maybe next time I'll try to see just normal jump and how much HP it will take me. Oh, don't worry, yeah, I was no plans to get myself flagged.
Lightsaber jerk.
So, what was the quest again? Collect Sand People sniper rifles. Just means kill Sand People. Oh, this was the buff for the pet on Tatooine. Yes, that's why it was 15 seconds, the one I thought it was a quest. And if you want to get that special pet, it's one of the eggs that I remember you loot from Dr. Lorik, or the second boss in Lost Island. You get the egg, and then you go down here and you just convert the egg into a chicken. But it's not a chicken, it was a ragu. Hi Red, I haven't seen you in the last few days. I hope you haven't given up. I'm struggling a little bit to realize what exactly happened to me for those few seconds that I actually had Master Strike on 2.26 seconds. What procced? How and why? Working! Oh no. The worst thing to do. Well, welcome back in this case. Sniper rifles. You know, the sniper guys are up top, so I didn't have to jump down after all. And my quest is upstairs, also. I'm using Star Parse, that's... it's not X-Parse. Or at least the original name is not. But I am using it, and I also have a video overview on YouTube, if you would like to go check it. It's my favorite parser by all means, and I consider it a lot better than Star Parse for a DPS. Mind you, it is missing a couple of useful stats for tanks, and also in some cases it doesn't show appropriate damage type from some encounters. But for a DPS class like my Sentinel, it's awesome too, and it shows way more than I could possibly need.
Lightsaber jerk.
It is also good enough for my healer. Yet again, I don't play tank, so I don't care about those missing stats. And the guy keeps updating it silently, but he keeps doing it. If you open it, on the up right corner you have that question mark, and it will tell you that the last version is from... Oh crap, he has updated it. Well, the last time I checked it a few days ago, it was telling us that the last version is from September, but actually it checks for updates every single time you start the program. So don't be fooled, those of you who think it's not getting updates. Exactly on the opposite, the program is getting better and better, and it has pretty much everything that every other parser tool ever had in the past, including a lot of new ones. I highly recommend everybody to try it. And that was my monologue on Star Parse. I hope you enjoyed it. Back on the boss. We're gonna bash up this guy and then we fly away at level 26. Not a very good idea, but I have nothing better to do. I'm going to Alderaan.
Now I understand why Tarnis was no match for you. His death was my failure. I should have trained him better.
You don't need that, of course.
I fought banthas that were deadlier than Tarnis.
You insult my honor. Good. That makes me more powerful.
Obviously, before Star Parse I was using Parsec. It's still a very good tool, but unfortunately after the first few months of constant updates and improvements, the cycles became wider and bigger between each next update. Force Persuade.
You don't
Okay.
want this world to be destroyed. Help me save it.
I don't
It's
want
not like
this
that,
world to be
woman.
destroyed.
First you wave and
I
then
will
you
help you
speak.
save it.
Now give me the code so I can
Stupid
deactivate
tasty
the
girl.
shock drum.
I will give you the code to deactivate the shock drum.
Welcome
I
back,
also have other
Rancor.
things you may find
Добре дошъл
helpful.
отново. Радвам се да те видя.
Wait. What have you done? I approached you with honor, and you tricked me. How dare you?
Did
I think
save
you
the
should
lives
maybe
whenever they
give an
can?
attempt and
I
try
will
to
save
convince them.
yours.
Many and
More lies.
they keep converting new and new guilds slowly but steadily to Star Parse. We all expect that the server will start experiencing issues with more and more people enjoying that new tool, but for the moment it's working very nice. My armor. Thank you. Or maybe his armor. Stop absorbing, dude. Whoa. My armor and my lightsabers. And, well, that's it, actually. The crystals are my own. They are a gift from Rizasha.
So much power. Impressive. You could be a great Sith if you
Oh, it's not about using parsers during game. I have the parser on my second screen and I just minimize and maximize it before and after attempts or boss kills. It is most of the time very useful to have it.
Darth Angral commanded me to destroy the shock drum code. He wanted you to die in failure, no matter the outcome here. I will not.
It shows which DPS is lacking, when healers are struggling, why. It also shows very useful information which one of the odds is doing the most DPS on you or on your tank, which ways you could improve movement. Personally, right now I'm imagining the torque fight in hard mode. There is absolutely no way to avoid the damn fire that's spawning on the melee people and the tanks.
If Master Coix is still
And I mean, there is no way to completely avoid it. Sometimes you might be lucky with quick movement, but you will catch a tick or two pretty much every time. And the laser turrets are even more annoying for melee DPS. Combined with the fire device, ugh. So many things in this fight in so small space. What's the difference between as you wish and with pleasure? I can imagine it will be 50 points and 100 points, according to 2 and 3, but the answer is pretty much the same. I've done the light side already, that is good on you, so
killing you will
let's
give me
pick the
great
nasty one.
satisfaction.
I am ready. May the Force be with you.
My guess was correct, and Kira is happy. Interesting. I'm not set yet on which side. Whoa, hey, wait. I'm too strong. Did you see? I haven't set up my mind if I'm going full dark or full light. I'm just trying to explore the different choices that I haven't done the first time. But because my first time was in December 2011, a lot of the things I don't remember.
I'm on my way.
You're not there yet? Brecken is really in terrible danger.
That's a
They
cool
followed
line.
their drive
EA,
to the mining
full stop.
complex. I tried to
Simple.
stop them, but they were determined to help you. Brick just sent an emergency holo. He says there's something called a sand demon at the mine. It's attacking them.
Some sort of creature?
That beastly predator is the only thing that hunts crate dragons. And those are massive. Brick doesn't stand a
Oh, I
chance.
want to see a crate dragon in the game. Please get me to a one. I want to kill one. Or at least get one kill me. Either way is fun. Oh yes, she does enjoy when I'm punishing Imperials. But very often she is also judgmental when I'm trying to do different things. A weird creature, Kira. That's what pretty much I probably have to do. On my first playthrough with Vulkk, I did absolutely everything on the light side. I mean, full light side, total galactic hero. Maybe that's why we don't have the Krayt Dragons available. Very good idea. I had millions and millions of screenshots from Star Wars Galaxies of me sitting on Tatooine waiting for the big-ass giant Krayt Dragon boss to spawn so I can kill him for a pearl, I believe he was dropping. A moddable item for your sword. Let's see. Can I find one of these pictures? Not mine, but at least something. Oh, there it is. That's the big-ass giant dragon. And this is the graveyard where we used to hunt them. Let me show you, to those of you who haven't played Star Wars Galaxies. This is a Krayt Dragon designed for Star Wars Galaxies. A very cool looking creature. I'm not exactly sure if this is the one big boss that was dropping the best pearl, but it looks like they all look the same, just different sizes. And this is the user interface, not mine, but this is the original old user interface for Star Wars Galaxies. Before the crappy upgrades that ruined the game and made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people leave. Very weird game. Notice the the ability icons. First, they were separated in 4, 4, 4, 4, and so on. And second, they were placed on top of the screen for an unknown reason. Down below in the middle was the chat. This is a default UI. And if I remember correctly, you were not allowed to move most of the parts. Or maybe I just forgotten. And that was a good memory. But now let's go back to the present and future. Bonus quest, defeat Sand People forces, 3 out of 15. And the main quest is to collect the sniper rifles. I hate when I'm in the middle of different quests. Look at this, I can go left and right and I will still get things to do. But they're not all on the same path. Oh, the original quest, it's even older than Star Wars Galaxies. Jedi were indeed very rare. That's what made people leave the game. In one of the updates, just after the Jump to Lightspeed Wookiee expansion, they've changed the game completely, allowing people to be Jedi from the very beginning. And before that, there were those very few selected hardcore players who reached the title of a Jedi after playing many months, farming things, grinding things. Obviously, they felt extremely disappointed and left the game, never to return. Those few who decided to return years later were granted an Elder Jedi robe, a very ugly looking robe, with like a couple stats more than the others. But it was a token of honor wearing that robe. I did not have a Jedi in the very early days of the game, simply because I started in 2005. The game was not available in my country before that. And I was still a small stupid child, teenager if you prefer. So I didn't have my own credit card. I didn't know about all the goodies of the internet and online shopping. So I just waited for the game to arrive here locally in Bulgaria. Okay, I wasn't a child, but I was a teenager in 2003 to 2005. Oh, don't make me go there. Dumb quest. Oh, you prompt me to remember the lore of Star Wars Galaxies in the later days. Let's see if I can find the link. They provided a lot of unnatural things to wear. That's the one. A lot of wings. I don't remember their original name, but they were special items that you can purchase during the Festival of Love, which was a yearly event in Star Wars Galaxies. I can't see right now anybody wearing it, unfortunately. Oh, there it is. That's it. And you will feel loved with the wings behind your back. Ewok Festival of Love. There is nobody wearing wings here, but it shows how the Ewoks are celebrating. Well, don't look at the 3D design, obviously. The game is very old, the engine was even older, so nothing can look good in today's standards. Game lag? Really? You mean low FPS? because of Twitch's stupid Flash player. If that's the case, I have an alternative solution for you. Let me find the link. Oh, and actually there is a link to that video below my stream. If you haven't tried it before, you should. There might be an issue. If you want to keep the chat up, you still have to keep a pop-up window with just the Twitch chat. But at least you eliminate the burden from a Flash player. Where is it? Where is it? Fix Twitch chat and buffering. This is a link to my YouTube video on my main YouTube channel. It will introduce you to Tarts Player. It is a ridiculously sounding name, but the player is very good. It's one of the possible 2 or 3 solutions. It's my favorite also. It really removes a lot of the stuttering and buffering. And in your case, it might actually speed up your PC, because it sounds to me like Flash player is too heavy. If there is other kind of lag, you mean internet lag, then there is nothing you can do except for change your ISP maybe, or upgrade to a better plan. Okay, combat is very overpowered at the moment, yep. Combined with the Cyclone / Frontal, wow. Let's take on a bigger group and see. A quick comparison, which I haven't done. Blade Rush, base damage maximum 618. Slash, base damage maximum 637. But of course, taking under consideration the Ataroform proc, which should be up to 192, makes Blade Rush for a lot better ability than Slash. Oh, heal up. 2 Vulks. Yeah, that's strange. Do you find that my voice has changed? Because I made that video approximately... I don't remember the date. Let's see. When did I make that video? I think it was last summer. Yes, 22nd July. Exactly last summer. What do I need? Stage 2, sabotage the Twin Suns mining carts. Alright, let's go in. Oh, this guy just walking here, innocent, not suspecting that I'm behind him. Ridiculously overpowered, that ability. I'm expecting they may move Blade Rush on a later level. Maybe switch it with... Oh no. There is no way they will switch it. At least not with precision. There is nothing wrong with being overpowered at early levels. At least not when you're farming a PvE. I might try tomorrow how the Jedi Sentinel feels like in the low V PvP. The lowest bracket should be fun. I haven't decided yet if I join PvP which spec I should play. Most likely combat. I'm not a fan of concentration. Stop and heal up again. It's annoying. Oh, green stuff. Basicom. That's not Basicom. It is nice killing stuff, but it's also nicer if I start clicking on these things. Thank you very much for visiting, mate. I hope that I will see you next time. And have a nice Saturday with the family. think you do to unzip it originally the first time. That's card number 3. Card number 4 is behind. Good. I have forgotten about this perk, and that it actually is given to you at very early level 12. But Taro form is active, which means when you play combat, and if you're here in this pathway for this discipline, you are combat with the Taro form. Cyclone Slash triggers an Taro form strike on each enemy target. Look at this, frontal damage with very decent DPS supported with this utility skill, Trailblazer, and proccing Antaro form. What else could you ask for? Quest done, we can go home. Stage 3, disable the Starfighter.
I'm back.
Screw that, even if it's a basic com, I want to get out. I see a bright light. Oh wait, this is not an instance, not good.
Thank you for watching this video. Remember, you can find me also on Twitch, Twitter and Facebook. For my non-Star Wars activities, I invite you to subscribe to my second YouTube channel.